How's it going, guys? My name's Steve, and beside me is this beautiful EG Civic from 1992. About myself, I am a mechanic. I've been a mechanic for a long time. I've done everything from working on semis to working on cars to owning an auto shop to recently relocating and starting something new. I was talking to my neighbor, and he didn't know how to change a battery in a car, and I thought it might be a good idea to make a video on doing some basic repairs and maintenance and stuff like that on a vehicle. Something as simple as changing a battery, to myself or to some of my older techs or anybody. A battery might be easy to change, but to other people, you may not know how to change a battery. If you're watching this video, you probably don't know how to change a battery. And it's actually very simple. I probably wouldn't encourage you to pay an auto shop to do it. It's pretty straightforward. I think after the hardest part's resetting your presets on your radio, but neither here nor there. So without further ado, we'll dive right into it. Obviously, first thing you want to do is make sure the vehicle's chalked for safety reasons. It's another thing, full disclaimer, take everything I say and do with a grain of salt. So let's give you the basic information that you may or may not need. So tires are chalked, ignition or key is off. We'll go to the battery. Now, there is a right and a wrong way to do this. The right way is you always take the negative post off first. I don't know how many apprentices I've had that will argue you take the positive off first. That is wrong for multiple reasons. For example, if you go to take that positive cable off and there's energy in there and you ground it out, you're going to be in for a surprise. If you take the negative off, you can ground it out and nothing will happen. Most importantly, electricity flows negative to positive. It's actually a reverse of what you think. Or may not think, but it's actually reversed from what I ever thought. I always thought it went positive and negative. It actually goes negative to positive. So you always want to take your negative off first. While we're here, at some point you're going to have to take off your battery hold down, and somebody has already broke this one. So we'll come back to that after. But right now we're going to take it off. So on this one, a very common size is a 13 or a half inch. And we'll take that off first, and then we'll take the positive off, pull the battery out. I'm gonna grab some gloves. We have our wrench. So a lot of you may or may not be thinking, or are experienced or are not experienced technicians. And the conversation I wanna have about the latex gloves is your skin. I had a doctor friend tell me this, and I've never looked at it the same before because I always thought the manly mechanics didn't wear gloves, and I was mistaken. So your skin is the biggest organ in or on your body. And when you choose not to wear gloves, anything you touch is absorbed into your skin. I can't remember the word she used, but it has to do with essentially, it absorbs everything that passes through it, much like a liver. So when working on a vehicle, especially oily vehicles and dirty vehicles and stuff, you'll always see me wearing latex gloves. So anyway, it's a side note, we are working with a battery, so there is acid in a battery. It's always good to have gloves, especially if you should spill something on yourself, you can pull it off real fast. So I digress. First thing we'll do, take the negative off. This is a fiberglass hood, that's why it's not the end of the world. This is actually in pretty rough shape. Oh, it's actually broken too. Well, next video will be how to change a battery cable. Next one to come off is a positive. This looks like it might be loose, and it is, but we could still loosen it off. Just like that. It's okay if things touch now because there's no electricity. Theoretically in there is some energy, but not a full 12 volts. And we'll lift this battery out. Just like that. We'll get our new battery right here. Just like that. And I'm not going to hook anything up. You guys get the point though. We'll do positive and then we would do negative. you definitely want to take off these caps, because I have had people come into the shop after changing a battery and the vehicle won't start, but they have this still on there. They put the post over top of it. You don't want to do that. So the reason I'm not going to hook this up is this negative cable is broken. So I'm going to get a new one tomorrow at Napa. I can hook up the positive though. It seems to be in relatively good shape. Now you're going to want to check in here for corrosion and debris. What you're looking for is corrosion's kind of almost like a white powder you'd see in there. And you want to clean this up with something like you could use some sandpaper. They do make a tool, but chances are if you're watching this, you probably don't have the tool. Your dad might or something, mom maybe. I'm going to clean it up real quick with some sandpaper, put it on there, and I'll get the negative. Tomorrow we're going to need a new hold down. When I say hold down, what I mean is this usually would go across the battery, and these little J hooks would go down. And there'd be another one on this side. And this basically tightens down and keeps the battery from moving around. We'll get into that in a second. And you'd back this 10 mil off. These break all the time. They're long, they're skinny, they get tight, they rust, they're in a bad environment, and they break. Somebody's already broke this one. Interesting enough, talking about the tie down, I had a, ironically, interstate rep take me to training once for batteries, and the trainer asked what the #1 failure of batteries was in North America. I live in central Canada, so I thought cold. Because owning an auto shop and working at Ford and Cummins and stuff like that, I thought for sure that the #1 failure would be the cold, because you sure change a lot of them. It's not. It's actually vibration is what they warranty the most batteries for. So when you decide to throw this away or just use a bungee cord or something, you're actually wrecking your battery. There's lead plates and cells inside of here, and they vibrate and move around, or you hit a bump and the battery moves up and down just like your passenger, and bad things happen. So we're gonna get one of these tomorrow, a new negative, and we'll get this baby together. Okay, and just like that, guys, for the most part, we have it installed. I'm going to probably end the video here just because my negative cable is broken. I need to get one. This is the other one. I actually found it kind of tucked in the side over here. So anyway, this gives you an idea of what to do. So now to summarize everything we went over really quick, just in case you guys happen to skip through some of the video. Essentially, if your battery holder is there, you'll loosen, could be 10 mils, could be a wing nut, could be anything, but you'll take these off. Always, 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 if you take anything away from this video, disconnect the negative first. Pull out your battery, make sure you wear gloves, protection, and that should be it. That said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you learned something, maybe drop a subscribe. I plan on making lots of videos, basic maintenance, talking about vehicles, and hopefully you guys can learn something. Thanks for watching.